Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Jersey, and today I'm bringing you the very first part 1 of the new building that I'm trying to make right here in Lego Fortnite that we are gonna call a barn. Now, yeah, it's kind of like a barn, it has the aesthetic, it has the feel, but I'm so excited to dive into this world now. I will say it right off the back, it is frustrating working Lego. It is. It's a whole thing you gotta get used to, right? It's a different way to design, different way to decorate, different way to build, the camera angles, the way things match and layer, the way floating bricks are staying up, the way you use the pillars, the columns, the fencing, everything. Everything is new, everything is a whole different way. But the most important is at the end, even after all that frustration, I'm having such a great time building, and that's what's the most important, right? And that's what makes this game, I think, so addicting. Is trying to create something, and not wanting to give up. And I love that, and I love that feeling. Okay, so my idea that what I want is I want to create kind of like a barn area. This is where I want to put all the equipment that I need for the barn, and maybe the storage area also for the barn, for the farming, for the seeds, everything else in this particular area. Now, it's really tricky to get the right size, the right scenario. This is something that we're gonna have to come to learn as we play Lego Fortnite, and it's gonna be, the more we build, the more we're gonna understand eventually how the sizing will work. Now, I did this sizing, I did this work, and I would have liked it to be a little bit bigger, but it did not work that way. I wish it was a little more bigger, especially on the second flooring. It came out a little too small. Now, all that comes with practice, like I said in the beginning. The next time I try to do something like that, I know that I'm gonna run into a problem, and now I know how to make it wider and start wider from the beginning. Now, the other thing that is so important to do, and this is another big tip as you're watching this, right? We're in the very beginning, right? Once you put your foundation, please put a floor. don't learn from my mistake. What happened here at the very end, not on this one, but part 2, when it comes out, I realized that I was going to add the flooring, and then I realized that now the flooring will not match, and that means I have to elevate everything by 1. So all the measurement, everything will be ruined. So I'm going to keep this particular build with just the flooring as the foundation. Maybe I add a little accent, maybe a little trim somewhere here and there, but the majority of the floor will be just the foundation, will be just the way it looks right now. And that was a mistake. So I will say, if you don't know the size of the foundation, how big you need your foundation to be, right? Because I didn't know exactly what size of my foundation needed to be, so I didn't go and create it all. Now my next approach will be to create a big, huge foundation. Just big to cover all my bases, and then if I need to add more, I will add it, and then at the end, whatever is the excess, then I can take it off. That way I can have a flooring underneath the farming and all of that, with having to readjust everything later if you really wanted to one. So that was my biggest mistake. Now over here, as you can see, we're building with the roofing parts, right? And this part was actually, as you can see right here, I'm putting it the wrong way. Then I realized, wait a minute, I got this the opposite way, so the hardwood needs to face the other way, but the great thing is that I noticed that you can use the roofing in different combinations, at least in some areas. Now, I don't know if I would have faced it the wrong way, would that would still connect on the other side with the other pieces. Don't know exactly that yet. There's a lot of answers that still need to be discovered as we continue to play, as we continue to just kind of like move this piece here, move this piece here, and how everything connects. But as you can see, what I'm doing is trying to create a frame around this window, and trying to discover the pillars, trying to discover all these little new items that we have, right? And it's great, and I wish we had more pieces, sometimes maybe, and especially I think this is something I'm gonna ask for it every single time I make a little video. Every piece, it doesn't matter what it is, there should be just the one piece of 1 square available. If it's a column, there should be the one piece, 1 square. Everything should have a 1 square, because you never know where you're gonna be off by 1 square, and you wish you had that 1 square instead of a 2 or a 3 or a 4. We need the 1 in every single piece, because that will help so much, especially when we're doing elaborate builds like this, that it could have been fixed by just having that one square, but now because we don't have it, we have to continuously work and redo everything. But as you can see, I'm working on the foundation. I noticed that things weren't coming out center, and I was like, man. And then I had to work on the next beam over here, and this is when now rewatching it, I noticed I should have gone a little taller, a little taller, and a little wider. I just didn't put it together that it was gonna come out this kind of skinny in a way, and I do definitely wanted it to be a little bit wider on the second flooring, but it's something that we live and learn. It's something that's gonna go. So the next thing my approach is how to handle the roof. Do I need to make the flooring or not? So I was trying to say, okay, I know this section has to curve in right over here, and it was such a weird way to try to approach it. Now, I know as I keep playing the game, I know I'm going to understand it better and approach it better. But at this moment, trying to put this corner piece in this corner and then start trashing the roof, and then noticing that I needed more of these rods and more of the framework, and then where everything's going to fit. So my approach was to try to get the roofing in a way that it worked out best, that will look good. Now, this is not the first time that the roof is going to get destroyed. It's going to get destroyed a couple of times throughout in different things. As you can see right now over here, the little framing that I'm doing with the fencing is not working. It's just one little tile higher, and it's one of those things, it's really hard. Every time you're placing something with a camera with Lego, sometimes you're really far away, sometimes you're not close enough. Sometimes you gotta be in these weird angles on their knees or on the side to try to place things, and that's what makes it a little more frustrated than compare with other buildingers. Like, they just bring a big example, Minecraft, right? I mean, you're right there. It's blocky, it's all blocks, so it makes it easier to build, but the camera movement, to me, that's the most important. Now, I do like what we have in Lego. I do like this, so I know that it can be improved. I know they're gonna continue to improve it, and then it's gonna get better. All right, so one thing that I noticed here is I needed to take all this little framing, and once I noticed that was the problem and took it off, and then I started adding back in the fence, now everything's starting to match better once again. And I really like the way this little outline here came out. This little outline that using the fence as a border, as a frame, I think it was actually really good. It gave it a little aesthetic, it gave it something. Now, the border and the fencing, you can do anything else. You can actually use more pillars if you want to, and just make it more woodsy if you wanted to, instead of having something a little more of the design aspect of it. So there's different ways to approach it when it comes to these fine details over here. But as you can see, is getting those corners right now sometimes is the tricky part. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect, and this is something that we need to really talk about, because a lot of this foundation, a lot of these pillars, they don't have to be perfect, right? Yeah, if it can connect and it looks flawless, that'll be awesome, But sometimes it looks really good, So in the beginning, as you're learning Lego Fortnite, as you're learning and mastering this way of building and decorating, my advice will be, if it looks good, and it's not perfect, but it looks good, and it's not something that's gonna bother unless you point it out, then leave it. We're gonna get better, right? Especially if you come to a point that you're gonna get frustrated and you're gonna get just angry and disappointed, and you just kind of like want to throw your controller against the wall, then don't do that. Don't get to that point. Just let it go. Enjoy what you have. Maybe take a break. A break is so important. It's something that people need to do. Take a little break. And then approach it once again. But one of the things that I noticed, and one of the things that you're gonna see, especially on part 2, some things didn't match. Something I didn't have the right corner, and sometimes we just need to elaborate. Sometimes I had to leave a little square because doesn't matter all the math that I did, it was not gonna come out right, and the fence was not gonna align, and we needed to put a fake pillar, even though it doesn't make sense where I put it. And that's some of the compromises sometimes you're gonna find yourself doing in Lego, right? It's not just about this build that we're doing here, but it's all the future compromises. And like I see right here, you see how I'm adjusting now the corner, and now we're adding kind of like a double pillar frame over here. Sometimes you may have to do that. Sometimes your vision may be that you just want one column, one pillar, but sometimes we may have to make a double just to make the aesthetic and the build feel right, and at least to fill those empty gaps. Because yeah, sometimes the empty gaps that can really ruin your build. It can make it look not the way that you really want to. But at the end, the most important is that you are happy. You are the one that has to be happy, right? And at the end, I am happy with what we came up here. Of course, this is part one. We get about halfway, especially we get kind of like the front part and a little bit of the back, and then second part, we start kind of putting everything together, doing the final details, and I think that's when everything started working together a lot nicer. Now, as you can see over here, this side over here, working on this side of the wall was also kind of struggling because I really wanted to imitate what we had in the front and put it on the side as well. And that was a little tough. I don't know what happened with my math. A lot of things came out a little crooked once again, and I needed to take it down. And like I said, the hardest part sometimes is to visualize something center. It's because some things are so far away. Sometimes we have to be so far away from the camera. And the grid, I truly wish that when we place the grid, and you see those little extra white lines that will come across the board, something that way you can really align things, not just a little bit outside of what you're using, but just going across the screen, or halfway through the screen. Doesn't have to be all the way to edge, but a big portion, because it's hard. It's hard to see what we need to do, and to me that's still one of the most frustrating parts. But okay, all right. So we finished that part. We put it in here, and now I'm starting to work on the roof again, right? Because to me this is important. Now, as you can tell, and I don't know why I didn't notice. I see it now in the video, but when I was building, that roof is completely wrong. It's now hanging over the edge, and oh my goodness, I did all this work. We did this. We're framing here. We're framing there, and then I noticed later on that the roof is now hanging from the foundation. I was like, oh my gosh, we need to fix this again. But like I said, it's funny. It's funny, and I really mean it, because it's a little frustrated. It's a little like, oh my gosh, you go back and forth. You get mad at Lego for, why are you making me do this? But at the end, it's a joy when you get it right? And I think as people truly love to design and come up with their builds and come up with just something unique, or get inspiration from other builds that we see, from other people, or like in my chat, they motivate me, they give me ideas, and it's fun to try them out. I really mean it. It's really fun to try it out and try to make it work. And as you can see right here, we're doing it. Now, originally, I was going to make 2 wings. And I may still do it, but at the end, I kind of just made it more like an L shape and keep it that way. I kind of decided not to go all in on the other side. But sometimes I am intrigued to make it on the other side. So I may expand it and make it really big and then just make it. But for now, at least the concept that we have right now is a good one, right? And I think I want to keep what I have right now and work on that. Then we got all the ideas, we got all the buildings to do. As I'm recording this, we just did another live stream, right? And I decided that I did want to change my storage buildings to look different compared with houses, and that's gonna be another fun project to do. I can't wait to kind of do a little build video of those buildings. That way, you guys can see and get more inspiration, get more inspired of more ideas and more buildings and how we can approach it. Now, here I am. I'm trying to steal, and this is when I noticed. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not hanging the roof. So here we go. We gotta break all this down, and it's not just on this side. We gotta do it again on the other side. And yeah, so pay attention. Unless this is the type of roofing that you're looking for and it's not hanging over the foundation, it's just minor details that we are learning. And I'm definitely learning so much every single time that we play Lego. It's a whole learning curve, right? But now that I fixed this, you see the gap now in the front. Now the whole front has to be redone again, and here we go again. Now, like I mentioned earlier on the live stream, especially, this build, I did 3-hour recording for part 1, 3-hour plus recording on part 2. So just to build, by the end we finished part 2, I was over 6 hours. I know we'll get quicker, in normal real time, we'll get quicker. We understand the mechanics, but mistakes like this is what kind of slows you down, right? And then you're like, oh my gosh. And then I realized the other side's also wrong. So now I got to fix both sides. We got to fix the middle. Now nothing is center. I got to create new pillars, and that's That was the struggle. That was the struggle. But I will say it again. I will say it 100 times. At the end, I still have fun. I still have a lot of fun. Right next to me on my desk, we do have my wife. She was playing The Sims 4, because she's a big fan of The Sims. That's the game that she loves to play, right? So, and she would look at me like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "I'm just a little frustrated because things are not aligning. It won't let me see if I got things centered. I gotta place it down, walk to the stairs, walk up here, look at it again, then come back down and keep aligning everything." And you know and then she laughs, because at the end she knows I love this. She knows I love designing. She knows I love creating new ideas, new ways to approach the game, right? And that's truly that's what makes it fantastic. That's what makes these games in a way unique in itself. Also we're playing it in survival. If I was in sandbox, maybe it'd be a little less frustrating, but we're playing full survival. I wanted my first world to be survival. I wanna experience, the Lego Fortnite survival experience. And I'm telling you what, my character getting hungry constantly is it's not fun. I mean, the enemies is not even a bothersome. It's the hunger level all the time. Gotta feed this guy, gotta feed the guy, gotta feed him again, And of course, collecting resources is one of the other things, but so something that we want to say is that we have an amazing community. I have amazing people that are coming in, logging in, building this world with me. Maintaining it, they're running it. They're adding things to the world. They're gathering the resources that we need, so then I can continue to build builds like this. So it's amazing. And we do the live streams. People come in and just hang out. And we also got the members are able to log in, and if no more members log in, then we got subscribers joining us as well. So it's a team effort, and that's something so important, right? Because another aspect of this game, as we continue to build, and you're seeing what we're building here, and I'm using the same fence that we did, but I want to make an aesthetic little railway up here, just for visually looks nice, right? We just want it to look nice. The other great thing about Lego Fortnite that I will truly say it is that you can create the world that you want, play the way that you want. That's so important, for people that truly just want no fighting, no hunger, nothing like that. You can build and build and build. Now, I really want to be in that mode. I really want to go to sandbox, but at the moment I am committed to do this, to experience this, at least until we build this first maybe main town, that is full-fledged town, feeling the experience, going through the motions. But in many ways, I do want to continue. I do want to continue to expand this town and connect it to another town in the different biomes with different ways. I am excited to get monorails and transportation. I think that's going to be great too, and having all that experience. Now, if you see that, the skeletons climb up the ladders. You can't escape them. But there's different things. I have another good friend, Elementrix Build, that is hopefully he'll continue to play this game, that he'll go past the frustration that it is Lego Fortnite. He's also a great designer, and I'm excited that maybe we can build a monorail together and maybe he'll want to do a whole village in this world too, and I don't know, the potential of so many things that we can do in this game is truly amazing. And the best part is that you can truly play with friends and or family or members or whoever you want to, and at the same time you can give people the world key, right? And that's truly something that is truly special. It's not every game will do something like that, and it's special, and it's really good to mention, because it's not all negative, it's not all frustration. It's truly an amazing thing. Now, like I mentioned before, I wish I would have caught it here earlier when I was building it, but I should have noticed that the gap was a little small, right? I should have gone a little bit higher, make this section higher, so now the second flooring we have a little higher roof, and then make it one more wide. So, but didn't come out. It wasn't meant to be at the moment, but of future builds, because the concept of this building can be improved, can be upgraded, can be added to it. If you're following this, you're getting the ideas, you're seeing how it's being done. Don't forget that in YouTube, you can slow down the video, right? Put it on mute because I will sound very horrible, but slow down the video, slow it down as the slowest or slow as possible that you want, or a good speed that you can kind of, visualize it, and you can pause it and you can follow along. At the end, it's kind of straightforward once you kind of get like the initial framing. I think the hardest part was just kind of getting the how big you want it. You can make this even longer. You can make it even bigger than I did. Like I mentioned in the beginning, don't forget that if you want the second flooring to be a little more storage area or more walkway. Now, if you're just going for aesthetic and just for looks, then yeah, this is a good size. I do believe like it feels good with against all the other buildings. I don't feel like it's too humongous or too small, or I think it's the right size. But if you want to go bigger because you're making a humongous farm, then hey, make it bigger, right? We do still want to add more farming. We're going to add more farming into this world. I want a big farm. I want to surround this building with farms. So that's part of the goal. So, some of the next couple video is still be as I work, not on the live stream, but outside of the live stream. I am going to be working around this building. Everything's going to be recorded. Everything's going to be documented. And then you guys will be able to see it. So, so you can follow it and stuff like that. Because I do have a couple more ideas. Now, this is when I knew I wanted to have a stairs. We knew wanted to come to the second flooring, right? Okay, no, it's not yet. Not yet. I thought this was when we're adding the stair. We're still working on the middle side over here. Now, I mentioned it earlier. I mentioned it during my live stream that I did leave a lot of the mistakes, right? On purpose, because I wanted you guys to see and to be motivated that it takes time, right? It does take time to build something great, something good, right? We'll get better. You will get better as we continue to do this build. But as you can see, I left more in because I could edit it out, all the mistakes, and just do it more straightforward. But I think it's important at this very moment in time, in the infancy of Lego Fortnite, that when people see the builds, it's not perfection. At least I want people to know that, hey, it took me time too. It's not that, oh wow, he's so good and he built this right away. It takes time, and takes effort, and it takes back and forth just to get something that you really want. Sometimes you see me right now trying different ways to do a roof just to see if I could make something different, but I was not going to be able to make the curve that I wanted, or it was going to be really off, so I'm going back to the classic. So, and there's always different ways to approach. There's always way to approach the game. But the most important part is that it's not done overnight. It takes time, it takes hours, but you and I will continue to improve as we continue to play this game. And I hope that after every single update that we get in Lego Fortnite, we get better pieces. Maybe they do some better. Now, if you saw that right there, oh my gosh, I forgot to eat. And actually my character passed out. I was so involved and so concentrating. And if that has ever happened to you, that you're building and you're doing it in survival and you completely forget, for some reason you didn't even hear the hunger sound, you were so involved, let me know to see if maybe I was just the only one. Now here we go again. We're working on the roof and nothing is aligning again. This corner piece will never align. So this is one of those areas that eventually we end up using other pieces. Nothing is gonna match. There's something in the very top in another spot as we get to more closer to part 2 that we kind of gotta fix, right? But here we go. We kind of aligning here. We're trying to align it and trying to use these corner pieces, and I'm like, man, what's going on? And again, see, if I line it there, then this other roof is off again. And telling you what, roofing is hard. It's hard. I do believe you always get better, right? But it is concentrate. Concentrate. Maybe if I think one of my biggest things that I'm gonna try to work on better in the future is if I know I'm gonna have a place when I'm gonna curve the roof, I'm gonna work on that and make sure I get that connected right, so then I can get the right measurements. My biggest mistake, and something that I want you to learn from this one, is that I didn't work the corners when they needed to be worked on, right? I left the space thinking that I have enough space, and then I started working on the other side and then leave the corners for last. And what I should have done is start from the beginning, and once I hit the corner, work on the corner, so when it goes sideways, I can seriously put the right pieces and I don't have to go back and forth. But as you can see right here, we're trying to do our best, and the next thing you know is I'm trying to work with the foundation, adding this little corner here. Maybe we can put another piece over here and trying to fill up. And now this gap here, it was one of the hardest gap to fill, but because it's gonna stay kind of like empty, you know, it just doesn't want to fit. We don't have the right pieces, and it just won't connect the way I want to. Now I don't know if I was doing something wrong, but I think it's the intersection, because the way both are gonna collide, it's just not gonna work, right? And so for now, especially in this part, we'll leave it the way it is. I took inspiration from other videos and pictures that I seen online. And what we do, basically, we just do like a fake chimney for now, just a little blocky way to go up there, just to fill that space so it looks a little better. I do want to tweak it, but at least, you know, we take inspiration from others and try to incorporate it into the builds. So okay, so as we continue to walk here, you know, you can see I gotta pick up everything. I'm running out. This is the struggle of survival. You always gotta pick up everything to make sure you got wood, and if not, you gotta go get more wood, right? But okay, so now we're gonna get back to the roof. There's still a lot more working, and again, struggling with this piece over here. And this is when I decided, you know what, I'm not gonna go all the way to the end. Because like I said, I'm gonna be honest, I was a little frustrated. It's, you know, you get to a point, you know, and you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna close it right here. We're just gonna keep it L-shaped instead of just keep going to the other side, because it's supposed to be two wings. You know, you come in and you got two ways to go out, one left, one right. We're just gonna keep it, just go to the right for now. Eventually, the great thing is in this build, you can add it easily. You know, it's just, you just go back in, work on it, take a couple things down and expand it to the other side. So maybe eventually we will do it, just to have a really nice size little barn entrance. But over here now I'm working a little more. I had to move a couple more things, so now I'm trying to hide those little gaps. So by hiding the gaps, what I'm doing is adding a couple pillars in different areas. Eventually we take these pillars out and we add nicer ones, the more rounded one, and it gives it a nice little frame, you know, into the front of the building. And that's the great thing. Sometimes another thing that I learned as I continue to play is the little extra details. You know, you can either work it on the spot or put what you need and then come back later and then add what you need, right? And then start making the changes. And I think that's something that it's gonna be more of my flow, right? Let me get the building, let me get it right, let me get the measurements, and then add the little detail decorations a little more at the end, right? Now, it's just a way to approach it. Right now, I feel like I find it maybe easier that way. Maybe for you, you find it easier to work the details as you work the build, right? So right here, we are accenting a little bit over here with a little white trim. I think I like that a lot. Just a little, it just looks a little nice, right? It looks a little nice. So like always, we check it from far away, we check it from here, and then everything is coming together, you know. And as you can see, everything slowly is working really well. And we just gotta fix a little more over here, put a little more over there, fix a little of the roof and adding the little pieces. But this is part one. This is part one of the build. I think we made it to a good spot. You know, I'm gonna be working on part two, finish a couple of the little things, and then get it out for you guys. You know, but what you guys think so far? You know, what you guys thinking on Lego? How much are you enjoying it? You know, let me know in the comments. Are you finding it a little frustrating? But as you keep playing it, are you getting better? Are you getting more confident? Are you getting more comfortable with the game? Adding pieces here, adding this other piece over here. I feel like we all are getting better, you know, at least in my live chat when I'm streaming it and talking with all the members and the community, is that it is getting better, you know. I feel like everybody is slowly getting better. I seen the pictures on the Discord. You guys are building amazing houses, amazing structures. You know, you guys also are out there trying to build amazing things. And I can't wait to go into those worlds, to go into those areas and see what you're building, you know, how you're decorating, you know, and showcase it here on the channel as well. So that's going to be really exciting, right? But okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe if you want to see more videos, and I'll see you next time. All right, guys, see you later. Bye.